Oh, this is what turned out today again. It's at the beginning a little bit of a confusing term because it really means so many things. What seems to be very, very important is actually that cloud is a service which is being delivered to someone really at the computer, but he's not really using only that computer, but he can use the whole world of the internet behind that and run all these services with very, very low computing power on his side. And it's what seems to be also very important that he can use this service on demand as much as he wants. He can start with a very little bit, but increase it to a very large amount, to a very large capacity. I really think it is going that way. Until now, most companies were actually investing in very large systems because it's easier to run this and there's better control over this. But the companies see that it's getting much more difficult really to run their own systems, and also they want to make use of these scalability effects. So I think at the moment we are at the point where these cloud services are in terms of technology are fit enough to get us there, and more and more people actually looking at the cloud services. However, I think the future will look like that cloud service, the technology can also be used privately, it can be used in the public, and I think the future will actually look like that it is being used both. Because there's so many risks also involved in using a public cloud that the companies will really try to keep some part of their cloud internally. I really think it's really the technology, the software. I think I heard other things today, but my feeling it's really the power of the new virtualization software, which enables those users really to run with very few people to run a very large data center, if you like. And you can also use all these elasticity effects and so on. So I think it's the technology and also the availability. I mean, you have to see that the new data centers, they're actually made of containers. There's thousands of so-called blade computers within one container. So it's getting more commoditized, if you like. I think it's both. I mean, it will, in every sense, it will drive the usability. Many companies, they want to buy services, not only data center, computer power, but also services like, for example, web-based collaboration services, because they don't want to run those on their own systems, and they don't know which capacity they need. They start very slow. They just want to use it a little bit, see how it works, and then maybe if it's a good service and they like it and they see it's reliable, they want to ramp up to 1,000, 2,000 users. Yeah, I think very much so. I think that most companies are actually concerned about that, and that I think that's a major challenge in the industry. On one side, the banks who are afraid of losing data, and on the other side is actually security in terms of reliability of the systems. We have heard that Amazon had a big problem last or two weeks ago. It was very much going through the press, so I think that most users are concerned. And they're only starting there, I think, if they're really convinced that they need some service and don't see so much the problem of the security. There are some companies, for them it's not so much key than others, like banks, for example. What I said right in the beginning, I think many, especially telecoms, they're offering already many so-called hosted services, and it's all about commoditizing them. And I think the cloud services support this. For us, where I work, it's for example computing, offering computing as a service. It's providing actually data centers as out of the cloud, and it's certainly also one field is collaboration out of the cloud, offering collaboration out of the cloud versus integrating their own system. Yeah, actually I see a mixture of both. We are running, for example, web-based collaboration services where Apple fits very well in. And we have many customers who come to us and they say they want to do this very service because it works with the iPad so well. So that's actually an entry. The other thing is also both sides, the telecoms operators and also the supplier of service. It could be Microsoft, it could be Cisco. Both of them use their core competencies. For example, Microsoft has a very powerful technology, but they're not so much into providing or bringing the service directly to the customer and making sure that it works very well. So I think it's an ideal synergy for both of them. I don't see so much differences over the continents. Obviously, the United States are advanced there, and much of the cloud power, if you can say, is coming over to Europe. But I'm sure, I haven't seen so much about Asia, but I'm sure there's very much going on as well, what you also could see here today at the conference. No, it's what I named before. I think collaboration is coming very strongly. We see that with customers. They're not necessarily immediately buying, but they really take their time really to understand what sort of service should I take. But we see a lot of interest coming in there, and the same with computing as a service and also cloud-based data services. The interest is definitely there, and so I think these are going to be growing markets.
That's great. Thank you very much.